Joint opposition protests against the governor, the central bank. 2 MPs injured and hospitalized. Auditor General summoned to the Finance Ministry. Auditors protests the move.
ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් විගණන කාර්ය දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවේ සියලුම නිලධාරීන්ගේ විරෝධය ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා ඒ අදාළ අමාත්‍යවරයාට.
Right to Information Bill passed without a vote in Parliament. UK votes out of the EU. British Prime Minister resigns after the defeat.
Coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo on TV1 and Shakti TV. Hello and good evening. This is Primetime News. I am Shaheen Jurangpati.
And I'm Bernadine Jai Singh. A very good evening to you. Now let's take a look at your stories in detail. The swimming pool complex at the Malayadeva College, Kurunegala, was declared open by President Maithripala Sirisena today.
The swimming pool and the pavilion were declared open today at the event presided over by the head of state. The event showcased several items including a colourful water ballet by the students. Minister of Education Akila Viraj Karyavasam and Minister of Sports Dayasiri Jayasekara also attended the event.
We saw this recently as well. If the players can't accept defeat, be it at school level or above, if the players do not listen to the referees and accept those decisions, if the spectators are entering the field and assaulting players, if they are resorting to violence, we will have to take stern action.
ඊට ඉහළ මට්ටමේ වේවා අපිට යම් දැඩි තීන්දුවලට යන්න සිද්ධ වෙයි.
I heard the sports minister's speech. He said that there was an incident recently as well. I believe these sportsmen have learned this from Parliament. If this was not the case in Parliament, those who are below will carry out activities properly. When this is the case at high places, it is not surprising to see it at low places.
The joint opposition engaged in a protest march in Colombo today against the governor of the central bank. MPs Rohitabe Gunawardena and Shriyani Vijay Vikrama, who were injured during the protest, have been hospitalized.
The protest was organized against the governor of the central bank, the increase of VAT, and the delay in holding local government elections and several other reasons. The protest, which commenced at Lake House Junction, saw the protesters wearing black bands as part of the demonstration. Thereafter, the protesters travelled towards the Ministry of Finance. An enjoining order was issued by Fort Magistrate Lanka Ratna, preventing the protesters from proceeding towards the Ministry of Finance. Barricades had been placed opposite the World Trade Center in Colombo in a bid to prevent the protesters from marching towards the ministry. MP Rohitabe Gunawardena and Shriyani Vijay Vikrama were injured as a result of being pressed against the barricades. MP Rohitabe Gunawardena was admitted to a private hospital in Colombo, while MP Shriyani Vijay Vikrama was admitted to the National Hospital. Despite this incident, the protests continued and the protesters arrived at the Ministry of Finance subsequently. Thereafter, a meeting was held.
If these individuals do not heed Parliament, its debates and the parliamentary commissions, we will use the overwhelming power of the public to drive them away. We are assisting this public movement today. The people are rising up against the tax burden across the country. When we amalgamate all these uprisings and when we control it, the government will collapse. When you bring the Auditor General to Parliament to intimidate him to save your best friend, the bond thief, it is not the right thing to do. We tell the Auditor General, do not bow down to this federal government. Carry out your responsibility. The country will stand by you. It is not only the removal of the CB governor that we are looking for. If he has engaged in any acts of fraud or corruption, the government should look into it in the same manner they are looking into our activities. When this is all over, there is no point in just allowing him to board a plane and head to Singapore. A
group of public representatives arrived at the National Hospital to look into the health of MP Shriani Vikrama, who was injured during the protest.
There was a large number of people there. I fell when I tried to get down from an elevated place on the road.
A discussion took place between Finance Minister Ravikarna Naik and Auditor General Gamini Vijayasinghe today.
The discussion took place this morning at the Finance Ministry. The discussion was not privy to the media. The Auditor General expressed his views to the media following the discussion.
We discussed the disparity in the amount of loans as mentioned in the audit report. We discussed the legal implications of this matter. We agreed to find solutions to this. I only said to amend the provisions as per the law. We have highlighted this in our report. That is it. The audit report entails the legal implications. There are large differences in the loans taken in the previous years. It is these differences that are mentioned in the audit report. We said that the necessary legal background regarding this matter needs to be prepared.
The Joint Trade Unions of the Auditor General's Department convened a media briefing in Colombo today to express their displeasure against the Finance Minister's decision to summon the Auditor General before him.
ආණ්ඩුක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථාවේ 154 වගන්තියෙන් ඉගෙන කාර්යපතිවරයාගේ කාර්ය හා කර්තව්‍ය අර්ථ නිරූපණය කරලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට ඉගෙන කාර්යපතිවරයා ආණ්ඩුක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථාවට අර්ථ නිරූපණය.
The 154th clause of the Sri Lankan Constitution outlines duties and responsibilities of the Auditor General. According to the Constitution, he is only accountable to Parliament. He does not have to heed the summons of any minister. The Auditor General has been called and he has obliged, but this is not the tradition. Such a tradition should not be created as well. As officers of the Auditor General's department, we express our displeasure about this to the minister concerned. This should not be used as a precedent.
The governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka has informed the Monetary Board that he would not be seeking reappointment until COPE concludes its investigations.
Issuing a statement, the Central Bank says that the Central Bank Governor Arjuna Mahendran made this known at a meeting of the Monetary Board that was held today. Arjuna Mahendran, whose tenure ends on the 30th of this month, informed the Monetary Board that he would not seek reappointment as Governor of the Central Bank until the Parliamentary Committee on Public Enterprises, or COPE, makes its findings known on issues related to the issuance of treasury bonds in the years 2015 and 2016.
Representatives of several civil organizations expressed their views on Governor of the Central Bank at a media briefing held in Colombo today.
The governor of the central bank has decided to step down as the governor until court investigations into him are concluded. If he did this with the aim of portraying that he is clean and he has nothing to do with fraud and the bond controversy that surrounds him, then he should have taken this step earlier when he was first accused. As civil societies and as the general public, we need to state that we are not prepared to be fooled by such acts. His decision to step down should not be a temporary one. Can a government official take decisions on behalf of himself? What right does a government official have to suggest or to recommend to his institution that he does not require a service extension? He is hoping to return to his post after the COPE committee investigation. What we are asking is, who gave this individual the unlimited power to take decisions for himself?
Addressing a media briefing held today, leader of the Janaseta Peramuna, Venerable Battaramulle Seelaratana Thero, reiterated that merely reducing the term of the central bank governor is not enough.
The governor of the central bank has looted millions of rupees. No one from the good governance government comes forward to talk about this. Nobody even talks about it. Their perspective is that he is good, but the public are calling for his resignation. However, even if they don't give him the post of the governor of the central bank, do not let him migrate. Bring him in front of the judiciary. He has already ruined the country.
Welcome back to the news. The Right to Information Bill was passed in Parliament today without a vote being held. Our correspondent said that the bill was passed with amendments.
It was a low point for this House that day when it voted against the right of a private member to introduce a bill. Having delayed it 6 months, the rules are that if the government does not enact or bring a bill on the urgings of a private member for 6 months, the private member is entitled to present a bill, and there should have been a debate on the bill and a vote taken on the bill, not on the question as to whether he was entitled to introduce a bill. And that was the lowest that this House went to, and I am surprised and saddened that conduct is also being sought to be justified today. Nevertheless, this is an auspicious moment. We can forget your wrongdoings in the past and welcome your present movement in the right direction.
The only reason we need to feel any shame is why this was delayed this long. It has been over 6 decades since our independence. In a republic, the citizen must be sovereign. They should have the authority to seek information about their government.
One of the main issues that plague developing nations is financial corruption. I believe that this act will help mitigate the effects of such corruption. The laws that existed previously alone cannot resolve the issues faced by today's world where money flows freely. I believe that this act gives us a good start to resolve these issues.
This act is not being brought in to punish the media. Whether there is a Right to Information Act or not, it is the responsibility of the media to inform the people. As the Deputy Minister of Media, I ask you not to have misconceptions about this act. Do not be misled by these false statements. The media will receive a blessing through this act. This act is not being brought in to punish the media.
This is the sovereignty that the people are receiving. It is enshrined in the Constitution. These rights are ensured by the public representatives elected by the people. Honourable Chairman, through this act, the public receive full privileges of state authority, fundamental rights and the right of exercising their franchise.
I would like to inform that the act has been approved by the Working Committee with amendments.
ගරු සභාපතිතුමනි පනත් කෙටුම් පත දැන් තුන්වන වර කියවිය යුතුයි යෝජනා කරමි.
The Right to Information Act has been approved with amendments.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says that steps will be taken to introduce an education system that moves forward with new technology.
The Prime Minister expressed these views at the ceremony held to declare open an indoor sports complex at the Viyaramadevi Balika Vidyalaya in Kiribathgoda.
The main question today is how do we develop the education sector in the country? We have begun this process. We only spent 2.3% in 2015 and I think we will be able to spend 2.8% this year. We will create school boards as per the constitution. We are carrying out these tasks in order to provide a better education system. Technology involved in education needs to change. There are new technologies that we could not even think about during our time. Some of it will be used in education. I'm in discussions with Korea to introduce electronic libraries to solve the issue of libraries. The education policies of our country needs to be arranged to suit the modern world. When the Honourable Prime Minister was the Minister of Education, he compiled a program that could move ahead with the world. Similarly, he is trying to introduce new concepts. The Minister of Education too is trying to create the necessary program.
The annual Iftar ceremony organized by the High Commission of Pakistan was held in Colombo last evening. An iftar is the meal consumed after sunset during the festive season of Ramadan. The High Commission of Pakistan in Sri Lanka, retired Major General Syed Shakil Hussain, graced the occasion. A number of politicians, diplomats, VIPs and other guests attended the event. Now, how will the Brexit vote and the decision by the United Kingdom to leave the EU affect the Sri Lankan economy?
Moving forward in the more medium to long term, the main channel of impact is through trade. Currently, about 10% of Sri Lanka's total exports go to the UK and about 30% go to the EU. Now, any impact that Brexit would have on the economy of the UK, the health and dynamism of the UK economy, as well as Europe, would of course have an impact on countries that are selling to those economies like Sri Lanka. So moving forward, I think this further reiterates the need for Sri Lanka to diversify its export destinations, strike new trade agreements with new countries, and also focus on innovation and competitiveness of our exports in a time when our traditional export markets are going to go through difficulty.
Were the aspirations of the thousands who went to the polling booths to elect their public representatives fulfilled?
Were you deceived through their actions and pleasures? This is the time to think again.
Think again. Is your vote working for you?
Today was day 8 of the Newsfirst Think Again public service initiative. The campaign focused its attention on Matale, Monaragala and Vavuniya districts today. The Think Again campaign educated the public of the Pattikudu Iruppu, Thuvarankulam and Olumada areas in the Vavuniya district today. The story of this boy bears testament to the unfulfilled promises made by public representatives of our nation. We met him in the Thiruvankulam area, which is located between Mana and Vavuniya, with his arm extended in desperation to the vehicle we were travelling in. What he wanted was a bottle of glue to make a small tractor, which was a handwork project from school. To buy this bottle of glue, this boy had to travel 10 kilometers. We took the boy in our van, obtained the bottle of glue and took him back to his home. This example provides ample proof that children all across the country suffer similar hardships without access to basic needs to reap the full benefits of the free education system.
Our children have no way of going to school. If we step out during the night to go to a shop, it will take around 3 hours. We always return home in darkness. We thank you very much for the way you are treating the people who voted.
The future of these children are gradually becoming darker. As time goes, our children will respond to those who come seeking our vote. These people living in Laksirpura make bricks to be used in luxurious and high-end houses. However, they lament that their aspirations have not been fulfilled by the representatives they voted in. They state that it is because of these representatives that they have fallen to a state where a brick is more valuable than their lives. According to our estimates, it cost 518,975 rupees to purchase the goods and equipment we need for our jobs. This is what we have to sustain our children. Those who we appointed, they are granted 200,000 rupees until they get the vehicle, which costs millions. When they come asking for votes, we will have to chase them away.
We used to live well. Now we are all in the same boat. We have no food nor water. We can only survive if we start up a brick business. They sent us here promising various things, but honestly we do not have water to drink today. All we have to say, do not come to our villages seeking votes.
They are just lying, so they are blind.
It's been 4.5 years since my house was constructed in whatever I could.
අලි දෙන්නම් කොටි දෙන්නම් කියලා තමයි කියන්නේ. කතරේ ගන්නකම් මරාන මැරෙන්න තරම් කේන්තිය තියෙනවා. අනිවාර්යෙන් ගඩොල් බයකින් ගහන එක ගන්න.
Even a field has not been given for us to cultivate. The vote is also elsewhere. They say relief will be provided, but once they obtain our vote, they are nowhere to be seen. They say the road will be constructed, but they don't. We were the ones who filled it up with soil. Voices filled with despair was common among the people in Bokas Bopalla, Murtu Ulwa, Sapugasaya and Melpitiya areas in the Naula Divisional Secretariat. This was because their representatives had also turned a blind eye to their needs. People of the Monragala, Rathabalawa, Watamada, Karpinchalanda and Devar villages face a number of hardships due to the lack of clean drinking water. Year after year, these residents had called on their public representatives to provide a drinking water project to the area. However, their request had fallen on deaf ears.
They make promises, but only during elections. We told about this matter. We said we will vote if we are given water. That wasn't done.
The Hambe Gamo Devar village is home to many families that make a living through fishing. These villages do not have complicated requests. Their only request is for the authorities to provide subsidies to obtain their fisheries equipment. These individuals cast their vote with high hopes that the public representatives they elect would develop their village and provide their village the necessary amenities. Who is responsible for the hardships that these people continue to face? This is indeed the time to think again. We will continue to be active on your behalf.
Think again. Is your vote working for you?
And that is a wrap of News First Primetime News. I am Shahin Jarampati.
And I am Bernadine Jai Singh. Good night. Take care.